Last 5 questions about the referees and about the action. So ask to the referees, right? So it's not the person. I didn't see the images yet, and
I think if the referee had maybe taken 10 seconds and gone and split them, maybe said to them, hey, by the way, you're lucky. I'm giving you both a yellow. I think you might. I don't think MD in the stadium would have expected. I don't think MD in the stadium would have expected a red.
I was equally surprised, I've got to be honest. I'm going to have a gripe. My assistant gets booked in a technical area that's only big enough for us to work. How do you work? You know this rule now, you're not allowed to have people on the side. I said before the game, I text Howard, I've told Simon Morgan of the Premier League because I'm fed up with it. I said,
and when he picked up the phone, I remember last summer, and he said he wanted to play for us and he wanted to be part of this team. You can really sense that, and hopefully he can enjoy today, and tomorrow he's ready for Bayern Munich.
His record for a wide player is incredible in front of goal, and the first goal was probably the hardest of the lot. It was an unbelievable finish. The second one's about his instincts and being in the right place at the right time. Really, really pleased for him. He's a great person, great professional. He always gives his best, and great to see him rewarded with the 2 goals today.
Frustration, disappointment about the way we play the game. I think they were the better team with 11. They defend really well with 10 men, 70 minutes. So I think we deserve to lose. We didn't play well. We didn't play with the right intensity. And that's it.
What didn't you do? I mean, like, why wasn't the intensity there? What was it that your players didn't do?
Yeah, we talk about this a lot of times. I know which point we are in the moment. I have that feeling during this run. I will always talk about that. So we are not there, not even near the point that we should be to fight for the best positions in the league. We have a lot to do, and we need to be perfect to win games. We were not perfect today.
Samuel and Jamie.
It seemed like the team struggled to cope coming up against 10 men. I mean, why do you think that is? And also with Mateus being injured, do you think that had a big impact on the way you attacked?
No, of course, when you have more players with different characteristics, especially with Cunha or Ben, you have more options to score goals, especially against low blocks where there is no space. But that is just an excuse. We have players on the pitch, and we could lose the game, but with a different intensity, the understanding of the moment when the other team fight each other and get a red card. And I think we didn't understand the moments of the game during the 90 minutes, and that is my fault. That I need to be better, to explain the players how to play in every situation of the game. And again, I think they start the game with a different intensity, and that was really hard for us.
I get that you have to protect your players and take responsibility. Just saying you have to explain every moment players went to. But surely these top professionals who are paid a lot of money, they should know. They should recognise that. Isn't that why they're here? Isn't that why we pick them? Because you trust them to be able to do that in the game.
I think it's. I know, but it's also, when I say it's my responsibility to explain the game. And today was not one mistake of one individual, was the team. The way we see the results of the weekend, we should get inside the pitch with a different excitement. That is my feeling. It doesn't matter if you are playing well, making good passes, but the feeling. And Old Trafford was there saying, if we are all here to give a big step up. And I felt that we were not ready. Again, these 5 weeks, everyone is praising our evolution. I'm always saying the same things. We are not even near what the moment we're supposed to be in this club.
Rob and then James.
You seem most frustrated this season when
been an opportunity there for the players to take? Think about Brentford half-time at Forest, where you talked about there being an opportunity there for the players to go and take it, and then missing that opportunity. Is that kind of the feeling that you have again tonight, that there was an opportunity there, given the results this weekend as well?
Also, that is also one of the reasons. But I feel afraid of returning of this feeling of last season. That is my biggest concern. So we need to work together. We are going to work together. The players are trying, but we need to be better. So we have training tomorrow, and we are going to prepare the next one.
Ruben, you've obviously been in charge a year now, and you talked a lot about the need to have that intensity in games all the time. Is the reality that you just have some players who can't deliver that intensity for you every game? They're not capable, or they're not good enough to every 3 days or every week deliver that intensity that you demanded?
We need to find a way. So it's not we can. I don't like to say we can. We show, and then, like you said, is 1 game by week. It's not back-to-back games. So we need to be ready for this kind of games. And again, 20 minutes in the game, red card for the opponent. We need to win this game, no matter what, no matter the situation. So it's a lot of frustration. But again, we need to. I had that feeling that we need to we have a lot to do, and we have a lot to do, and we are going to do it.
Last question for Larry.
Given the way that the other player was set up, there's been a sense of embarrassment that the team that are literally fighting each other were able to come together and produce that performance, when it feels like you're sort of saying maybe your players didn't have that fight themselves in this game, so to sense that moment and go for it.
First of all, it was also 11v11. I felt since the first moments you can feel it. And then fighting is not a bad thing. Fighting doesn't mean that they don't like each other. Fighting is that you lose the ball, I will fight you because we will suffer a goal. That was my feeling when I watched. I don't agree with that sent off. So I'm going to say that it was, we can fight with a teammate. I know it's a violent conduct, the referee explained. I don't agree with that. I hope my players, when they lose the ball, they fight each other. Now, they cannot do it, it's a send-off. But that is a good feeling, not a bad feeling. Again, my players show in many games that we can do it. Today, we didn't. I need to help them. We are going to be better in the future. Today, we are really frustrated. Thank you.
Hello, Mikel.
Hi.
What a satisfying day. I mean, it was an incredibly impressive victory, and then a reach. I mean, what a story.
Well, a great day. I enjoy every minute of it, from the preparation. Since the moment that the players come back from international duty, I sense a feeling that they wanted to be together again, that they were ready for a fight, they were ready for a big week, and the preparation was top. Then you have to deliver it, obviously, with the energy that our people brought to the stadium. It made a huge difference. I think individually the players were exceptional from the minute one. We were super dominant in almost every phase of the play. So yeah, a day to remember. You don't win a derby 4-1 every time, and hopefully we made a lot of Arsenal supporters very proud and happy.
Could you sense that they really wanted to kind of almost own this occasion? Because I mean, it's some Spurs rivalry reached sort of premium levels in the summer, but it's kind of statement performance in those goals tonight.
Things happen for a reason, and after the international duty, he had 2 days off, and after 1 day, he wanted to train. And he wanted to improve, and he wanted to do extra practice. And he was asking me questions about this and that. And when a player has such a talent and his desire is at that level, then these things happen. And he fully deserved that. I'm so happy for him, because since the day that he came, he brought something else to the team. Certain joy, certain aura that this team needed. And now hopefully will give him a lot of confidence to him and the team that in any moment he can win us a game. And that's the ability that he has, and he certainly needs to fulfill that talent.
Tom from London.
Hi, Mikel. It's felt like one of Leo's best performances as well, and with so much noise and talk around him in the summer, and then taking a game like that by the scruff of the neck, it really felt like he took things to a new level.
Yeah, for me no, because for me it was forbidden for him to leave. No chance. I know the player that he is, and surrounded with the players that we have, he's a player that is going to make the difference for us. I fully agree. It was one of the best games, so aggressive with on the ball, so effective. He could have scored another 1 or 2 goals, and he was involved in so many positive actions. So that's what we need. As I said, I think individually the players were excellent today.
James, CBS.
Mikel, could you just reflect on Everett's quality of just pulling the trigger? He takes a lot of shots, and maybe was that something you were missing last season? Someone who just sort of sees the ball and hits the ball.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be perfect, and it can be right, left, ball on the ground, bouncing ball at this height, and he takes it. And he has such a quality and capacity to finish actions in different ways that we need to play him very close to the box, because apart from that, obviously, for example, the ball that he put to Declan in the second minute, I think it was, to play him through and create that big chance is exceptional. We need to play him in his qualities. The more he spends time there, the better for the team.
Ed Guardian.
I just thought Ed, he's obviously had an amazing year, won the FA Cup for Palace, and he's got his dream move. Do you sense in him a sort of a desire to keep going, keep achieving stuff and winning things?
Yeah, well, that's what he showed from the beginning. And
well, how bad, that's difficult to measure, but it was very bad, of course. Playing at home, losing 3-0, no matter which team you face, is of course a very, very, very bad result. Unexpected if you look at the first half hour of the game. In my opinion, a good start from us. Haven't seen us creating so much in half an hour, first half hour of a game, maybe throughout the whole season. I'm not sure because I don't remember every single game now, but we were able to create a lot. And the first time they arrived in our box, they scored a goal. And it's a very difficult cocktail to drink or to have if you miss out on your own chances, and almost every time you concede one, the ball goes in.
Sam?
You've got a lot. You ended the game with 2 midfielders in defence. So you seem to be moving to Jones and at one point you had Jones and Ruben.
Yeah.
It feels like you're having to adapt quite a lot to try and add attackers to keep your shape when players are out of position.
Yeah. Now we had to start the game with a midfielder and right fullback because both of our fullbacks are injured, and Joe Gomez is a player who can also play there, but hasn't trained the whole week. I don't think he was fully ready to start this game. And yeah, when you're 2-0 down, it's not really, in my opinion, really necessary to bring in a defender. And normally you prefer, at least that's what I always do, you prefer to bring in players that can score a goal. So yeah, after I took Ibu off, indeed we played with 2 midfielders in our last line. That's true, but we also needed goals. And that's why I brought Hugo in, Ikitike for Ibu, to bring a player in that can score a goal. And just before we conceded the 3-0, I went to a 3-3-4, but because I didn't feel after my first substitution we were able to create a lot. And we know, as you probably even better than me, but I'm here for 1.5 years now, and if you score a goal in this stadium, something can happen. So you need something. You need a goal, you need something to happen, and then after my first substitution with Hugo, I don't think we created a lot, so I thought with 2-0 down, let's take an extra risk, but that didn't work out really well because 2 seconds later we were 3-0 down. Lewis?
What did you make of the first goal, standing with Endoy in the offside position? Premier League say he wasn't in Alisson's side, but obviously there was the thing against
Yeah. During the game, people told me that he was in an onside position. Sorry, so that's why I wasn't bothered at all. Now after the game, people tell me that was he in an offside position? Is that 100% sure or?
The Premier League say refs calling goals checked, but he wasn't in the line.
Yeah. Does that implement that he then was offside, or because that's of course the big issue? Then I have to see it back because because I heard immediately that he was on site, I didn't check what the line of vision then was. Now I haven't had time to see it back if he was in the line of vision. Yeah, I've seen us conceding 3 goals this season against Atletico 2 and against Frankfurt 1 that were more in the line of vision of the goalkeeper than the one we scored at City. But yeah, I think no one wants to hear from me now. Me talking about referee decision. If you lose 3-0 at Forest, then I should first of all look at myself and my team instead of that. But it does show you how a set piece or how a goal can change momentum and can change the game. Because before we conceded the 1-0, I think I was just waiting for us to score a goal, and afterwards we hardly created any chance anymore.
Paul?
You said then you should look at yourself first. Do you worry that you might? Do you think you can lead the team out of this slump? Because it's the same sort of things that are happening each week in terms of set piece goals, missing chances, and I know the players have to. It's down to players at the end of the day.
Oh, no. It's my responsibility. If we win or lose, it's my responsibility. So, but what I also see is that the team, and by the way, our fans as well, stayed till the end, supported the team till the end, and the players keep on trying till the end. And what I also see today, and that wasn't at City, but at City, we were not the only team that struggles in the first half. But in every other game we've played, we've been the dominant team. And we were able to create chances. And like I said, lately it's almost constantly that we miss our chances and the ones go in that we concede. But that will never continue throughout the whole season. But we need to have that moment of energy of scoring a goal. If you are playing well and you go 1-0 up, then the other team feels like we've played here half an hour now and we're 1-0 down and we hardly seen the ball. But the opposite thing happened. They got a big energy boost from scoring 1-0. So I see a lot of things where in a normal situation the result would have been different, but we are now in a difficult situation, and then you need to do even more to get your results in than when things go in your favor.
That's what I was saying. Do you doubt yourself at all at the moment, or does what you did last season give you and your career as a manager give you the confidence that there is a way out?
Yeah, of course there's a way out, especially with the quality players we are having. So I think no matter if you win or lose, if you make a lineup and if you make substitutions, and when you look back, you're always thinking about, where can we do better, where can we adjust? But that's something else than doubting yourself. But I want to emphasize one more time on the fact that I'm responsible for the current losses. When you are responsible when you're winning, but you're also responsible when you are losing. And that's why I prefer, although you asked me that question, not to talk about referee decisions or other excuses. I can never come up with enough excuses for us to perform, to have the results we have. That is far from good enough, and I'm responsible for that.
Arne, you mentioned that you feel you create enough chances, but do you worry that the players are becoming, again, too nervous, too pressurised in front of goal? Because it seems when it's the first time in a long time Liverpool haven't scored in consecutive games, does that become like a compounding problem?
I don't think so yet. I don't think so yet, but yeah, it's difficult for me to feel what they feel. But if I look at the way we finish these chances, I don't see a player that's lacking confidence or is hesitating. For example, the one with Maka, I think he hits it perfectly, but defended perfectly as well. So no, I don't think that's an issue, but yeah, it's difficult for me to judge because I'm not there in that moment. The only thing I can see is that we do create, and the finishing is as expected. But the blocks and the saves are also of quality.
Matt, last one.
I mentioned when the attempt goes up 3-3-4.
Yeah.
Could you explain thinking behind that? Because sometimes teams go forwards on, but
Sorry, last.
Then the players struggle to get the ball actually.
No, I don't think we struggled with that. I think we ended up a lot of times on our sides with Cody and with Mo, but we struggled to create a chance of that because they were defending with so many players in and around their box. So then, if you've tried for 75 minutes with 4 defenders, 3 midfielders, and 3 attackers, although the defenders were midfielders, but that comes from injuries. Then the idea was, but again, I'm responsible for that, to make an offensive substitution, which I did last season as well. Took Ibu off, brought Diogo Jota in, and 1 minute later, away at Forest, I mean, we scored the 1-1. Then it was brave. Now it's probably stupid.
Thank you.
And when he picked up the phone, I remember last summer, and he said he wanted to play for us and he wanted to be part of this team. You can really sense that, and hopefully he can enjoy today, and tomorrow he's ready for Bayern Munich.
James, ESPN.
You talked before about the importance of capitalising on the weekends where your rivals lose. I mean, just how important is this result in the context of Liverpool and City?
Yeah, and especially after the Sunderland game, that at the end we lost 2 points in the last kick of the game, basically. And we went to the international break with that bitter feeling because we didn't concede any goals and we had 10 straight wins, and we wanted to get back to earning that momentum again, and the London derby and today's performance, it's a good start.
6 points clear. What does that mean?
In this league, not much. That we are doing really well, that we've been really consistent, and that's it. I mean, when you look at the results, whether they win or lose, the difference in the scoreline and actually what happens in games is really small. We know that we need players back immediately today. We got Noni back on the pitch, which is great, but we're still missing a lot of important players, and we're going to need all of them. The good news is we lose Big Gavi, which for us is a massive blow, and Piero comes in, and I think he was fantastic from the beginning.
David from the Capital Sport.
Hi.
When you look at the team and you look at the performances you guys are continuing putting on, what are you most happy about? What do you think is making the difference between you and the rest of the group so far?
Well, I don't know. From looking at our team, it's the application, it's the energy, it's the desire to be the best version of themselves every single day. That's what I sense. And some that we are better, and some other times not that good. But the willingness and the desire to win and be there, it's without a question for me the biggest attribute for this team.
And finally, from Frida from Aftonbladet.
Interesting movement from Mikel on the pitch. How important was his performance today?
Yes, I think it was incredible again. And we are asking him to feel as a 9, and he's not a 9, and to do a lot of the things that a 9 has to do. But he's such an intelligent player, and his work ethic and his desire to contribute and make others better is that big. Then at the end, those performances give you the right reason to continue to trust him.
And finally, again from Mikel from Independent.
Just on Mikel Merino, do you get irritated when he's described as defensive, given that?
I don't know. A defensive 9.
Okay, Bob. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
To win here is incredible. To win here like that, I would have thought is quite amazing.
Yeah, it was. It's been difficult to win here over the years, wherever we've been, but over the recent seasons I've felt as if we'd come close when I was here at West Ham, and a couple of things didn't go and we didn't quite get results. But if you said to me tonight, when I had got here and we go down to 10 men, I was going to get a result with 10 men here, 0-0 at the time, I'd have said that would have been really tough. So it was a brilliant performance by the players. Resilience, toughness, commitment, all the words you want to hear as a manager, and a great goal as well.
And I've seen you close to TV, but as a manager, stood on the touchline watching one of your own players get sent off for hitting a teammate. What does that feel like?
Well, I didn't think when I saw it, I didn't think there was anything in it. I didn't think I was a bit annoyed that they were challenging each other at the time. But I was also quite pleased. quite pleased they were fighting each other, because it showed me that they cared, and it showed me that there was a bit of that, and that's what's in Everton. We're trying to demand higher standards from everybody. So I can't quite work it out if it was Keano's bad ball or if it was Ghana's bad ball to Keano, whatever they were annoyed with each other with. But if we hadn't got that fight and that resilience like what they showed, we'd have never get through the rest of the game. Because we came up against an improving Manchester United. Most of the people in here were here to see Manchester United. But Everton stood up to what they had to do tonight.
David, so you moved quite quickly to get down to the tunnel at half time. Just what exactly was said, because obviously you got the lead, brilliant display in the first half, but you obviously had a situation that you had to resolve as well.
Not one word was said. Never for a minute did we think about it. It wasn't an interest that was done. I was more interested what I thought Manchester United were going to do at half time, because I was concerned, you know, tactically what they're going to do, how are we going to cope with it, what we were choices, how could we alter. And we'd played Sunderland away from home. We were 1-0 up and we came out in the second half and we lost a goal after about a minute. So I was determined that we didn't go out with that sort of attitude. Second half was much harder. They put more people in the front line, made it much more difficult. But I thought as they made it more difficult, we defended just as well and stuck to our task.
Has Idrissa said anything? I think you said something that he might have apologised to the teammates.
Yes, he's apologised to the dressing room. At the end of the game, asked everybody and spoke to us all. So no problem, we move on from it. Disappointed it happened, but in some ways, you know, people who've been players, I'll understand what it means when you're on the pitch. You're fighting to win, and the both of them were.
There must be an enormous sense of pride to it for the team to have overcome that to then deliver everything they did in the second half.
Absolutely, and I think if anything, the players stood up and showed exactly what they're capable. A lot of what we saw tonight is a bit like Everton, but I have to say it'd be wrong not to put Everton in the way we played at the start of the game and how we started and how we played, because we were probably the better side for the majority of the first half, even with 10 men at times.
Paddy?
Dave, I think there's the stuff that Tierney Barney won the most headers of any striker in the Premier League game this season. What would you make of his performance? I feel like he's growing into the number 9 role.
Yeah, I do. He's beginning. I thought he led the line well in some ways today. His numbers running are always big, and we need it even more so today to somehow to help us. So yeah, I'm pleased. I still want goals from him. Obviously, that's the thing that you get judged on as a centre forward. But I think his performance tonight for the team was worthy of what he done. He worked really, really hard for us.
Mitch?
David, just in terms of Michael Keane, I guess with his involvement in the incident with Idrissa, it would have been quite easy for him to be distracted by it. It didn't feel like that at all, almost the other way perhaps. I mean,
Yeah.
Did you talk to him, and how do you think he did?
No, I didn't. I didn't speak to him. I said I didn't not talk to him about it at all, because I've quickly moved on. As far as I'm concerned, you know, the couple of players. I think if you'd asked them in the crowd, and I think you boys as well, I think you're all surprised it would be a red card. I think if the referee had maybe taken 10 seconds and gone and split them, maybe said to them, hey, by the way, you're lucky, I'm giving you both a yellow. I think you might. I don't think MD in the stadium would have expected. I don't think MD in the stadium would expected a red. But letter of the law might suggest that's the case, and we have to accept that. But let's be fair, we're all football fans and we watch football. I don't think there'd have been many expecting a red card in that incident. So we're not going to talk much about it, because we've had a great victory. We might have been talking more about it if I didn't, and I accept that.
Yep.
David, so much has been talked this season about Ruben and Jack Grealish and some of their creativity, but the way they defended that second half, especially Jack,
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned it, because the two of them done an amazing job physically. You know, Jack said he ran a bit tonight. You know that. So we had to get. You know, Jack was really good. The work we needed to get back, and there was a couple of times in the second half saying, "My goodness, are you going to make it all the way?" Ellie as well. Ellie done a brilliant job for us, and they've been great attacking players for us. And actually, in the early part of the game, the both of them were a threat as well. Just the longer it went, we get pushed back so far.
Just take one more.
I just asked about Ghana to come back to reset Man United and just to run the game as he did. I can't believe he did performance in the middle of the park.
James Garden's playing really well. and I know Thomas Tuchel was here tonight, and I don't know, I'm sure he's got lots of England. I mean, he'd have certainly made everybody realise that England's number one was playing for Everton, that's for sure, because of how well he played, his saves he made. But also the likes of Kieran Dewsbury-Hall and Jimmy Gardner are English, maybe not quite ready yet, or maybe, but I'm sure that Thomas brought up Alex Scott from Bournemouth, so that should encourage the likes of Jimmy Gardner and Kieran Dewsbury-Hall that who knows what might happen as the season goes on. But Jimmy played really well, yeah.
Okay, folks.
Ta.
Cheers. Thank you.
What disappointed you most about the performance?
Second?
What disappointed you the most about that performance?
Well, where should I start? This is, of course, hugely disappointing that we don't perform better in the game against Arsenal, our biggest rival. I can only apologise to the fans for that. I was very confident, whatever Friday, when we spoke about it, that we could be competitive today, and we won over the 90 minutes. We tried to come here and be aggressive and press high, and in spells go after them. We didn't succeed with that bit. Didn't manage to get near enough them in the situation we could. That means we got pushed back and got a little bit too passive. It looks like we're running after them, and then we finally got on the ball. We were not good enough to get out of the situations. So no matter how painful it is to admit, there are definitely 6 years down the line. We are 4 months down the line, but even with that, I was still expecting much more from us today. Not that we could be dominating all 90 minutes, but that we could be competitive as we were against City and PSG.
It's another game with a lack of creativity is going to be spoken about. Is it concerning you that it's still not clicking?
Now I think this is, it is concerning. It is concerning. Of course, we are working very hard on trying to make that better. But sometimes you need to, it's not only playing out, find nice passes in the final pass, it's also in a game like this, if you see some of the situation where they wanted high Arsenal, and then there was a little bit more open space, so we didn't win enough in those situations, and then create from that. But for me, the creativity, I know it was very low, was not my biggest concern today. That's also a concern, of course.
Did you get it wrong today? Did you set the tone with a setup that was too negative?
I'm a very big believer that no matter what system you play, you can be successful. I completely understand the question, and I always take the full responsibility. So the full responsibility will always be on me. Today, when we didn't perform, I picked a team that played 5-4-1, changed it at halftime. Very, very clever. 1 minute into it, they scored to 3-0, and then the rest is history after that. What I would say is that no matter if you played one or another system, we needed to be more aggressive and be better in the duels, and that doesn't matter the system. But I take the responsibility for everything today, no matter what.
Thomas, with the back five, what was the plan in the first half to sort of frustrate Arsenal? Was that something that was imposed upon you?
Ask again, sorry.
Was the plan in the back five to frustrate Arsenal, to shut the game down, or was that something that was imposed upon you?
I think, the question before, I know we are working very hard on the offensive part of it, so we could be extremely defensive solid, but still be aggressive, still go after them, which we've done, which we also did, for example, against PSG, but we didn't succeed with today in the same way. So I'd say if you have a back five, you can still be very offensive in many ways, but today it just didn't succeed.
John, in that first half, Thomas, tactics aside, did you see enough fight from the team? Normally in the North London derbies, how they early, it's incredibly intense, and was that lacking from the players, do you think?
I think we were 100% too far from them in these duels we wanted to create, or getting pressure, getting close. In those duels, as I talked about before, we didn't win enough of them. If that's lack of fight, of lack of whatever it is, we just didn't do it well enough.
James?
Just following on from that, you say you didn't win the duels, you weren't aggressive enough. Was there a concern in that the team just didn't believe they could win here?
No. That would surprise me, if I'm honest. Why shouldn't we be able to win here? I know. I think that's two different things. Maybe it was. I think in any game you need to get through tough spells. I don't think that. Maybe that came during the game. I don't know. That I need to ask the players about.
Thomas, after the Bournemouth defeat back in August, you stressed the importance of not having these bad performances.
Yeah.
Even games can go either way. But we've had that one with Chelsea and then
Yeah.
today. How
Yeah.
alarmed are you by the fact that the team is still capable of putting in these kind of performances?
That, of course, will always be a concern. I would like the team to have very few bad performances. There will always be average performances because it's football we are dealing with. So that's definitely something I need to look into because today I felt we were fresh. I think we were ready. Chelsea game was a little bit on the back end of a top spell. There could be that, but form still bad. So today was. I didn't expect us not to be not competitive.
And just secondly, talking about creativity, you chose not to start Xavi. You sort of explained it already about the tactical setup, but you've been playing better in the last few weeks. Specifically, why didn't you pick him?
He's been playing better. Oh, what are you saying?
It feels like he's been getting to grips with the Premier League in the last few weeks.
He's better and better. I think that was a tactical decision. I think Wilson's done well, so it's one of him or Xavi or Wilson.
Ian. Thomas, the fourth Arsenal goal starts with the Tottenham throwing deep in their half, and when you watch it back, there's not a Tottenham player who seems to want the ball. It ends up back with your goalkeeper, 3-1 down. He clears it, they get the ball and they score. Is that an issue with confidence or bravery just to want the ball in that situation?
I think you are 3-1 down. What's the score at that time? What's the time for 82nd minute? We always want bravery. You need to be consistent. You need to keep going. You need to do all the right thing. I think I'll be more concerned if that was as 0-0 or 1-0.
Jay. Hi, Thomas. At one point in the last 3 league games against Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United, teams that you want to be competing against at the top of the table. Just wondering what you've learned from those last 3 games and where the areas of improvement are.
I think it's 3 different games. As you can say, I think the United game was a much better performance than today, and the Chelsea one. I also think there's difference in the Chelsea and the Arsenal performances. Even both of them look bad on paper. I need to watch this back as well. I think it's definitely a lot to work on still. I think it's fair to say that we are very disappointed, unhappy with the performance today. No, don't want to run away from that. And I said we will apologize to the fans. I think also fair to say where we're coming from. We finished 17th last year. And we tried to build something which today didn't look like we tried to build something.
You just mentioned that there are differences between this performance and the Chelsea one. Lots of people will look at the XG and the chance creation and say that's very similar. Can you just elaborate what you've noticed was different?
Yeah, but I think it also fair to say I need to look this game back. I have much is just fresh in mind and very emotional and frustrated, of course, right now. So that please ask me about that question next time we see each other.
On Tuesday.
Yeah, on Tuesday. Yeah.
Final one. Thomas, I know you said that systems can be attacking or defensive and you can be successful in anyone, but would you accept that maybe in lining up in a back 5 before the game, which you've not done in a long time, you're sending a message to the players and maybe encouraging a degree of passivity by lining up with that extra defender?
Yeah, you can say that, but there's so many ways you can see it in that aspect. I've seen lots of teams, including my own team, playing also 3-5-2 or 3-4-3, being very aggressive, positive, forward-thinking. That was not the case today. So I don't think it's about the system.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Someone to start?
Pep, I know you'll be disappointed with the result, but what a great game of Premier League football that was.
Absolutely. Good advert for Premier League, yeah.
You knew Newcastle presumably would be dangerous, particularly at home.
Always have been since I came in this country, especially in the last years when Saudi Arabia took over the club and invest, and they make incredible job, top players, so always it's difficult. In that place, it was a tight game, chances both sides. Gigio was extraordinary, and we missed chances, and at the end we were better in the second half. We conceded a goal, and after swift both sides, and at the end we could not take a result.
Is there anything you're disappointed about from your team today?
No, never disappointed. We gave everything, and we wanted, making a step like we have done in the last 2 months. But as international break always, you see what happens. It's not an easy place to come after international break, but long way to go.
Thank you.
Sharp.
Were you surprised not to get a penalty in the first half when Sharp appeared to catch Phil?
But that's what it is.
What, you went to the referee at full time, what did you say to him? You didn't speak?
No, nothing. Everything is fine.
Sky are reporting that you went to see him inside his room. Did that happen? If so,
Everything is fine.
nothing to add.
Everything is fine. So it's what it is.
Pep, you seem to have a bit of a debate, should we say, with Bruno Guimaraes at full time as well, and I think Gigio had a bit of a...
Yeah, I asked what happened with Gigio and him, and and yeah, everything is fine.
Gigio was clearly very angry about the second goal, and I think he had...
It happened against Bournemouth, happened again. So.
Do you think he was fouled? Does he need more protection?
Did you see the action? I didn't see it yet. But I rely a lot of my players, so I didn't see it. So.
You felt he was fouled for the corner?
I didn't see it.
Yeah, that's what he felt. He said it was...
Absolutely, otherwise he didn't feel touch. But they are VAR and the referees decide the opposite. In the first half, the actions, in the second, so what it is. We're used to. So.
Do you think Donnarumma is still getting used to the physicality of English football?
Well, he's physical, strong, that guy, huh? That guy.
That's happened a couple of times now.
Sorry?
It's happened twice now in the last few weeks. But
It's not a question for Gigio.
it felt like I seen he got booked again for complaining about the decision. Do you think your team maybe got too emotionally involved in the second half?
No, there's no emotion. So it happened. He believed, when he goes there and touches the ball, it's in a stable, it's not fault. And the last action, 95 minutes, two central defenders for the ball is fault. So what can I say? So Gigio will learn and happen. And the last 5 questions about the referees and about the action. So ask to the referees, right? So. Not the person. I didn't see the images yet, and nothing is going to change. And I'm not a guy like. So I played 2 finals, FA Cup finals against United and against Crystal Palace, and oh my God, did I say something? Nothing. So it's what it is, and I lost. So we lost. So, and what I've done first on behalf of my club is congratulate United, congratulate Crystal Palace. I'm not going here to talk about the referee, it's gone. So talking individual, so we had, but I didn't come here and I blame and what happened. They don't believe it's fault, it's not fault, it's fine. It didn't happen in Bournemouth, it's normal not happen today. So that's all.
Just about Nico Riley as well, he had a pretty good game today, but I think maybe a moment before the first goal when he could have done better with the clearance, you seem to be having a chat with him afterwards.
I talk a lot, but the goal is not his fault. He played another outstanding game, back and forward, his passion and love. So the team was good, and we know the way they play in intense play. You have to handle it. We handle it. Our momentum. They have the momentum, so always it happen like that. And second half we adjust a little bit. Our midfield players were closer. They were more in the position that we need to do, and we were better. And after, in this type of game. There's so physicality. Always there are. You win the ball, you lose the ball. You win the ball, lose the ball. And after in one situation, they have Aja Bruno Guimaraes make a good action, showing his quality and score a goal. So, and after that, we shift for the corner and other things. And at the end, unfortunately, the momentum in that moment in the corner and happen have one or two more chances and at the end we couldn't go because after that they make 11 plays in the box with Pope, and always is difficult.
Just on the schedule as well, obviously Saturday night game now, Tuesday in the Champions League. How difficult is that given you can get back late tonight? You've got 2 days in between. How do you go about preparing them?
We won the quadruples and trebles playing in that way. We want it, right? The treble and quadruples playing on Saturday and Tuesday and Tuesday and Friday and Sunday, and we are used, so it's not a problem.
Anything else, guys?
Thank you. Good night.
Cheers. Right, guys. There's no one saying hello to Lee today.
Come on, Luke.
All right, Lee.
It's toned it down.
Who wants to start us off? Let's go to Luke, just because.
That was the response I think you would have wanted from your team today after a sort of stinging lead up to the international break.
Yeah, it was. I think we had a long wait in between the Brentford game and this game. In some respects, that was probably a good thing because it allowed us time to reflect, but then time to work. And the players that stayed will vouch for that. You know, we tried to re-find our energy and our athleticism through training, and of course that there was a group with us. There wasn't the whole squad. And we tried to then instill that into the guys that came back from international duty, that this is what we've worked on and this is what we need to deliver. And the players didn't let us down. They were magnificent today. The heart and energy and athleticism was there, and it needed to be because playing such a good opponent. One mistake and you're going to get punished. And I thought it was a really high-level game against two really good teams.
Harvey Barnes, his 5th and 6th goal of the season, he missed 2 chances you would probably expect him to take in the first half, but then the response with those 2 goals, that sort of sums him up really, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I think Harvey never really gets affected by missing. I think that's a great asset to have as a goal scorer, and he's certainly that. His record for a wide player is incredible in front of goal, and the first goal was probably the hardest of the lot. It was an unbelievable finish. The second one's about his instincts and being in the right place at the right time. Really, really pleased for him. He's a great person, great professional. He always gives his best, and great to see him rewarded with the 2 goals today.
Do you take any satisfaction, particular satisfaction from that as a manager who was maybe coming into it with a little bit of criticism?
What, winning?
Yeah, do you take any extra satisfaction out of that? Or?
I just take satisfaction out of winning, and whether there's extra, no, because the only satisfaction is trying to get a positive result, and we needed it today. You know, we're under no illusions, we're under pressure, and we were playing the best team in the Premier League over the last God knows how long. So, and our record against them has not been good. So a lot came together today, but most of all I'm delighted for the players.
David?
Is that the kind of performance and result that can kickstart the season?
Well, I think that's how we're trying to look at it, Damien. We want to try and build momentum in our season. We want to try and build the confidence back to where it has been historically. You can only do that by winning, and you're looking for turning points and moments and can direct your season where you want it to go. The West Ham and Brentford games were where we don't want to be, and the feeling was as bad as I've experienced. But then you're just looking for some positive the other way, and we got it today, and the lads fully deserved it, gave everything to the game. That's all you can ever ask.
Did the team discover that little, rediscover that little bit of sort of, not nastiness, but, you know, that little bit of edge again?
Yeah, possibly. I think you need that, and for me that is described as doing everything it takes to win. So yeah, I think you need a bit of devilment in your game. Of course, within the rules, you don't want to see red cards, but you want to see us being really hard and fair to try and do everything we can to win.
Thank you. We'll go to Lee, Keith, and then to Chris, please.
And you obviously bringing the fullbacks back today, that just seems to give the team a completely different dimension.
Yeah, well, I always say the team is formed by individuals. The individuals create the team, and they've all got different attributes. So you saw today Lewis Hall's technical ability, consider again the length of time that he's been out, and he's one that hadn't trained with us, so we hadn't really seen him during the international break. That was a great performance from him. It took the ball under pressure, linked really well with Harvey, ran forward when he was able to in that first half before his legs started to tire. And then you go Tino, who had stayed with us and had done a lot of hard work. I thought physically looked unbelievable today, considering he's 7 weeks out. And a really high-level performance against a very dangerous opponent. So I did think they both played really well. Yeah, well, I think Fabian and Malik deserve real praise today because the way that we play, we're brave, we're aggressive, and that leaves our centre-halves at times sort of big areas to cover. Thought they both read the game really well. They got the positioning spot on. Both are excellent with the ball too. So, yeah, very pleased with the two centre-halves today.
Keith?
Well, I think you know with Pep and historically understand that he likes to mix things up and change things potentially. So I think in my mind was, you know, what may they do next to try and gain control of the game and to try and take out our threats. And you're always, you know, it's a game of, I know people say it, but it's a game of chess to a degree. You're trying to work out what they're going to do and you're trying to think what you can do to hurt them. And so half time's a very, very busy time. There's a lot going on, but you need a coolness of head to try and figure out the best strategy to go forward with. And I was really pleased with our attacking intent in the second half because we didn't sink too deep, although at times we knew we wouldn't have the ball. And I thought our defensive shape was really, really strong when it needed to be. So pleased with every aspect of our game really today. Well, yeah, we worked on things that we've never worked on before against Manchester City, and I'm not saying that's why we got the positive result, but you're always looking for things that you can. I've got list upon list of things that haven't worked against them, so I could probably tell you what doesn't. Telling you what does is a very small piece of paper, but I think you just try to learn from experience and then tweak something the next time, and that's what we've done.
Thank you. We've got to Chris, Scott, and then Dominic, please.
Hi, I mean, I asked you yesterday about the record that you had against Manchester City. You said you look back at all those things that you've tried before. Is it something you fixate upon when there's a certain record against a team like that you just want to get the better of them?
Not really, no. Actually, I'd probably go the opposite way. I don't, you know, it works two ways. You know, we have better results, or have had historically better results against some team than others, and it just works out that way sometimes. I think we've come really, as I said before, we've come really close in different games, and for whatever reason, it hasn't happened. Today it did, but it was down to the players. It's always down to the players. That the margins today between winning and losing were so small. I mean, I've been told about the VAR, how tight that was. If that doesn't go away, you don't know how the game unfolds. But the most important thing, take away the sort of the result, was the heart and the spirit of the group. The performance from the team was there. The hunger was there, the motivation was there, and that's the key things we have to take forward. Because I think if those qualities are there with our delivery and the players that we have, we can beat anybody.
Some of the tweets you made, one of them was to shift Bruno and Sandro around the game. Can you just explain that and also talk about their performances?
Yeah, that was one of the things we tweaked, just to, without going into too much detail, just to get the appropriate player in the position that we wanted them in. I thought both players played very, very well today.
Okay, Scott.
You mentioned Lewis there. Was that just fatigue, him coming off, nothing?
I think so. Yeah, I mean, I've not had a detailed debrief with the medical team, but I think it's cramp is what I'm led to believe it is.
And when Lee was talking about the fullbacks there, I mean, we obviously see the way that they affect the game from their position, but actually having that kind of attacking threat from there, having that energy from there, it affects all the other parts of the team as well, doesn't it? Because it affects how Jacob can play, it affects how your midfield three can play. You know, it doesn't just affect what they do as fullbacks, if you like.
Yeah, I'd say the same about any position. Every position on the pitch, especially with how we play, affects the other players. So if you have something that's not quite working, the team will suffer. So that's just with how we play. We're not individual based, we're very partnership based. And I think whenever you play like that, there is the potential for things not to have the normal rhythm. Today was a good day in that respect, but there'll be, of course, other challenges ahead, and that's not to dismiss the qualities of the other players that have played in those positions, because they bring something different. And, just very pleased with our attitude generally today. I thought it was a much better return than our last outing against Brentford.
Can I just ask you on Kieran and Anthony, obviously weren't in the squad?
Yeah, Anthony's very close. Just not quite ready for today, but he's working hard and he'll be ready, I think, in the next few days. Kieran, I'm unsure. I'm waiting for feedback from the medical team.
Through a few more as quick as we can. We'll start with Dominic, Daniel and Martin, please.
After conceding some late goals this season, how refreshing and how did it feel to overcome that physical and mental hurdle this year?
Yeah, it was important. I mean, when the 8 minutes went up, that was a bit of a shock to me. I wasn't necessarily prepared for that. So that brought back some bad memories. So I was very, very pleased to navigate those 8 minutes, and the players did that really well, because the concentration has to be so high. We were going to naturally, I think, be penned in at that stage. Some tired legs, tired bodies, players slightly playing out of position as well. Jacob Murphy moved to left, did really, really well today. Jacob, you can't underestimate his versatility and his know-how in that moment, and yeah, we managed to do it.
The referee and yourself had a bit of a jump at the end, and he went straight down the tunnel. Was there any issue there?
I've got no idea what happened there. It was just, referee advised me to get him in the tunnel.
Daniel?
Eddie, was it positive for you, that despite the fact that you were missing chances in the first half, that the chances were coming, the team was flowing and creating those openings for you?
Absolutely. The biggest time to worry is when you're not flowing and you're not creating anything. And we've had games like that this season where you think, I'm not sure we can score today. And I don't want to produce that team, and I don't want to produce that style of football. I want to look a threat in every phase and every moment, and I thought we did today. Even when we don't have the ball, you want to think one loose pass from the opposition and we can attack the other end, and today I think we had that feeling about us. Great to see Nick have some chances. He's done very well with his goal return from limited shots, but today he, again, I felt while he was on the pitch he could score.
And is the real acid test now Everton next week? Because of course we know the away record hasn't been good, and you should be able to, or want to be able to take a performance like that into an away game where obviously there's been issues this season.
Yeah, I think the acid test is Marseille and Everton. We have to now go away in the Champions League to a very, very difficult opponent, and we need to perform. We get very limited rest, and that's the challenge, and the biggest challenge that we face. Our schedule between now and the end of January is relentless. So now the players have to look after themselves. We have to regroup, and we have to go again.
Yeah, so we need to finish quickly. Go Martin, Craig, and then Kieran, please.
Does a first Premier League win over Pep mean something to you?
No, genuinely it doesn't. It means something to beat Manchester City for Newcastle. That's the thing. My individual, it's irrelevant. Although I have to say we've had some painful moments over the years, really painful moments, and every defeat's painful. And I remember every single one. So it's nice to win for the team, and we needed it in the Premier League. We knew the league position wasn't good enough.
Sorry, can you measure the size of that win for you?
Well, I think time will tell on that. It is a big moment for us because it will give us a big injection of confidence, which I think we needed, and when I say we, the whole squad needed. And we've got players that are close to coming back that can make us even better. So hopefully it comes at a really good time.
Thank you. Craig?
Eddie, you've already touched on this, but Nick Vondermoor missing chances. You might not even say this if he hadn't gone on to win the game, but how encouraging was that, and how did you achieve that? Because Nick's connections look different to how they had in the last two. How did you achieve that?
Well, I think the work we did in the break was really important. Now, Nick wasn't part of that. He was away in Germany, but we worked a lot on different movements of the players around him to try and bring out the best in him, if that makes sense. So despite the fact he wasn't with us, we were thinking of him. Dan Byrne, no, he was away as well, so I can't say that one.
Kieran, to finish, please.
You talked a lot about the away issues. What do you think it is about at home, particularly these kind of games? The record against those big 6 teams very good.
Well, I think an obvious answer. I think it's the crowd, and as much as I'd like to say the crowd sort of shouldn't make a difference to the players on the pitch, it changes everything. And I think we have to figure out a way then to transfer some positive energy into our performances away when we don't have the crowd. So that's going to be for us to fix, whether that's system related, personnel related, whatever that is. We need to work hard to figure that out. Here at home, with the energy the crowd give us and the belief they give us, we're okay. But yeah, a lot to think about and ponder before our next two games.
A lot of the players who played Brentford got a chance again to make a bet. We're kind of keen to do that rather than ripping things up.
I don't agree with ripping things up. Unless you're in absolute panic mode, which we're not, and I don't believe in that style of leadership anyway. I think I've got a very good idea on who our stronger players are. And I want to then try and give them every opportunity to showcase that by helping them and developing them. That doesn't mean that you tolerate poor performances over a longer period of time, and sometimes you have to make some very difficult calls, and I'll always pick what I think is the best team out of who's fit and available for the next game, and that's what I'll continue to do.
Okay, thanks everyone. See you in Marseille.
Thanks very much. Thank you. Cheers.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was just looking at a few familiar faces. I used to be up here quite a bit. You know, yeah, pleased for lots of reasons. Pleased for the players mainly. I spoke openly when I first got here about having three managers in short succession. Players trying to realign again. They've done very well with it. And I commend them on it because, I said to them this week and I said to them again after the game, we can only guide you in the right direction. It's down to you to perform, and they have done, both on the training pitch, absorbing information and delivering performances, and that's all we can ask them. And they're certainly, I think they're putting a lot into training, a lot into what we're all collectively trying to do to achieve things, and I think that's a very solid marker against the top side today. Well, it's the strangest thing about football. Look, last year this football club used it as a catalyst and they carried on. We hope for that. But the strangest of, because of my awareness of the division, because I've been in it a long time, it doesn't guarantee the next one. I've said it for many years now. Of course it's to be enjoyed. I do enjoy it, people think I don't. I do. But it's for the fans and the players. But we've got to go again. You look at the league, it's not solved. Everything's not solved. But what it is, it's a good, strong marker about this group and how they are willing and they're committed to the cause. Because the one thing I've learned about the Premier League, of course you need talent. You wouldn't be a Premier League player if you don't have talent. But what about the hard yards? What about the ugly side of the game? What about when your willingness and the desire as a collective group of people to stay focused on what the job is? And I thought that was excellent. We changed the tactical style massively today. I said, we're not passing out, don't worry about that. People can question me about it. It's not, I don't bother, as you know. I said, we're going long because these are going to press the life out of you, which they tried to do early in the game. And I thought they delivered it. They accepted it. I know we've got players we can play. If you saw the performances so far, I think we can mix our football and play good football, as people call it now. I like the one that wins personally, but anyways. And I thought we mixed it tactically today, but that's credit to the players. We can only say this all. If you're willing to deliver it, it's got a better chance of working, and it did today.
You've got to defend really well if you're going to get into the...
Absolutely. And I thought the early part, credit to Liverpool. I was a bit gutted that there was a 2-week break after the Man City game because there was a lot of noise, a lot of questions. It kind of, it calms and it settles. I warned the players. I said, these are, they've proved what they can do here. They're winners. They've won cups, leagues, all sorts. So I said, you've got to remind yourself of that. So we need to be ready. And fair play to them. They started really strong. I thought we defended fantastically well in the early part of the game, and then we sort of just managed to get a foothold of sorts. I don't mean by keeping the ball, but just that feel of the game starts changing. You could sense it in the atmosphere of the stadium. And then we score a goal, obviously. And then really, I thought our shape and the basics were really good after that. And we still had enough in our locker to cause trouble on the break. And that's a different way of winning, but it's still a way of winning. And I said to him, another thing I've spoken endlessly to him is, how do you win football matches without the ball? Because that's an important factor over a Premier League season. It's very difficult, unless you're the superpowers, it's very difficult to dominate the ball in every game you play. So what about winning the games when you're not playing maybe as well, or you haven't got the ball? How do we do that? So I'm super pleased for these players, because I do believe there's some real talent here, some really talented footballers. But what about the day when we have to change things? And they've accepted that, and they've delivered it very, very well today.
Lots of good performances today, but Murillo in particular seemed to personify everything that the team was about. What did you make of him?
I thought Mats and the two centre halves were excellent. Nico Williams again. Sav's learning. I thought second half he played very well, learning from the first half, as a unit. Murillo's doing very well. He's accepting of the work. He's still young, I thought aerially he was very strong on set pieces, which is certainly something we need from our centre halves. There's been a lot made of corners, particularly. But no, he's all-round game, and he'll get fitter and stronger. And my kind of fit. I don't mean that in any way, shape or form, other than the way I work and my habits and what I want to do. And I think he's applied himself very well, and he continues to do so. All of them have. I must make that clear. All of them have accepted what we're doing, even the hard yards, because they've certainly put some hard work in, and they've accepted it. They worked very hard on Tuesday because I think we've still got to get them how I like them physically. They worked very hard. We brought it down Thursday, Friday. We deloaded the tactical information because sometimes you do. Sometimes you have a trust in the group. Kept it very basic. I often prefer to, when we're playing big games, is keep it very, very simple for them to understand. And the simple basics will never go out of fashion for me, and they've delivered it very well today. I'm surprised that, I'm a long way from it at the point of action, but when I saw it back, I'm very surprised. I don't know who's, we'll ask for an explanation. I don't know who's seen what, but I was very surprised. I was equally surprised, I've got to be honest. I'm going to have a gripe. My assistant gets booked in a technical area that's only big enough for us to work. How do you work? This rule now, you're not allowed to have people on the side. I said before the game, I text Howard, I've told Simon Morgan of the Premier League, because I'm fed up with it. I said, this certain grounds, because we had it at Goodison, not the new Goodison, obviously. There's only so much room you can go in there. Where are you meant to work? We are professional people at the end of the day, and their question is how many people are standing on the side. Well, you can't talk in front of your bench about the players who are out there. So it's ridiculous. Imagine they're all listening. So where are you meant to go and do your work? We're working. So I can't understand all that. It's a load of nonsense for me, that. Just let us work. So you get people booked and all that for nothing. You go, oh, God, just let's get on with what we're doing. Surely fans are not worried whether two coaches stand on the sidelines chatting about some players. Surely they're not that worried. Goodness me, come on. Yeah. No, I know you mean. From years of doing it, I think it feels different. When I was a younger coach, I would have probably thought, oh, this could change at any second. But your gut instinct sometimes is correct. And I thought the way that the team, by the way, were handling their performance got stronger as the game went on. And of course, goals, I've said it many times, not just scoreline, it builds a different feeling in the performance. But they can hurt you, these teams. I've played in other games, I have. Some of you have seen what I do and the teams I work with. Well, you think you've got them, and the game gets away from you. So you can't guarantee it. But my feeling was we gave a really good performance tactically to make sure that they didn't really get too much in the way of real threat. I thought Mats did the basics very, very well today when he had to, and the centre halves particularly I thought were outstanding today.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.